Hello and welcome to yet another thought-provoking episode of Around the World by Drishti IAS. The U.S Pakistan relationship, historically characterized by strategic alliances and misgivings, underwent profound shifts following the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan in August 2021. The termination of the two-decade-long war, initiated by the seismic events of 9/11, came at a substantial human and financial toll. Over $2 trillion expended, the lives of 2,443 American troops, 1,144 Allied soldiers, and injuries to 20,666 U.S. servicemen. The Afghan populace endured immense suffering, with over 66,000 Afghan troops and more than 48,000 civilians losing their lives. This extensive war reshaped the geopolitical canvas, markedly influencing U.S. ties with regional nations, particularly Pakistan and Iran, and recalibrating the broader dynamics of the war on terror. All these transformations have realigned the regional balance, with the U.S. Pakistan nexus prominently at its epicenter. First, let's take a look at the historical engagements between the US and Pakistan. Pakistan and the United States established relations on August 15, 1947, with the US being one of the first nations to recognize Pakistan. However, this relationship has been described as a roller coaster due to periods of close cooperation and deep estrangement. During the Cold War, Pakistan aligned with the US against the Soviet Union. President Muhammad Ayub Khan established a strong military alliance with the US. Following the 1958 coup, the US supported Pakistan during the 1971 Indo-Pakistani War and the Bangladesh Liberation War. After Pakistan's defeat, leader Zulfikar Ali Bhutto improved relations with the Soviet Union. In 1977, Bhutto was overthrown and General Muhammad Ziaul Haq came to power. Following the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979, the US and Pakistan cooperated in funding the Afghan Mujahideen. Relations improved in 1994 when sanctions were waived after Pakistan cooperated in US endeavors in Somalia and Bosnia. However, aid was suspended again in 1998 but reinstated after 9/11 due to the US engagement in Afghanistan. Differences in strategy and distrust in the Afghan war strained relations. The US accused Pakistan's military of supporting non-state actors, including the Taliban. Drone strikes and incidents like the Salalah friendly fire and a spy's arrest in Lahore further complicated the relations. Despite these issues, the Pakistani military has been significant in US geopolitical strategy and has been a major non-NATO ally since 2002. With Pakistan's role in the Afghan peace process and the Taliban's return to power in Afghanistan in 2021, US policymakers are reconsidering the relationship with Pakistan. Public opinion in both countries soured, with each ranking the other as one of the least favored countries. In 2014, 59% of Pakistanis viewed the US as an enemy. Pakistanis had one of the least favorable views of the US compared to other nations. There are about 5,54,202 self-identified Pakistani Americans in the US and approximately 52,486 Americans in Pakistan. Pakistan hosts one of the largest US embassies in Islamabad and the largest consulate general in Karachi. Now let's examine the shifts in the relationship between the United States and Pakistan following the US withdrawal from Afghanistan. So in 2021, following the withdrawal of US troops from Afghanistan, the United States adopted a policy of distancing itself from Pakistan. Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan viewed the Afghan people's newfound freedom as breaking the shackles of slavery and declined an invitation to the US's Summit for Democracy. During the constitutional crisis that unfolded in Pakistan in 2022, Prime Minister Imran Khan openly accused US officials with particular emphasis on Donald Lu of complicity in a threatening letter and warned of American efforts to facilitate a regime change in Pakistan. Notably, during this period, Khan embarked on a visit to Russia, where he vehemently asserted Pakistan's foreign policy independence, emphasizing that the nation was not beholden to any external power. A significant development in the U.S Pakistan relationship came with a joint statement issued by the United States and India during the 4th annual U.S India 2+2 ministerial dialogue. In this statement, the two nations called upon Pakistan to undertake irreversible action to prevent its territory from being used as a launching pad for terrorist attacks against other countries. However, tensions escalated in October 2022 when US President Joe Biden made a statement characterizing Pakistan as one of the most dangerous nations in the world during an address in California. In response, Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif and Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari vehemently rejected this characterization, and the acting Foreign Secretary of Pakistan summoned the US ambassador to seek clarification regarding Biden's remarks. The year 2023 witnessed a notable development in the bilateral relationship. Pakistan decided to import Russian oil, and the United States demonstrated its positive disposition by allowing this transaction to occur at a discounted rate, even though it had not endorsed a Washington-backed price cap on Russian petroleum products. It is essential to underscore that the intensifying strategic competition between the United States and China has exacerbated the pre-existing geopolitical tensions between the US and Pakistan. In a leaked secret memo, the Pakistani Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Hina Rabbani Khar, advocated for prioritizing ties with China over appeasing the United States. This can be clearly seen with China investing billions of dollars in the China-Pakistan corridor, a major infrastructure and economic development project involving a network of roads, railways, pipelines, and other infrastructure that connects China's western region to Pakistan Gwadar port on the Arabian Sea. Furthermore, the crackdown on former Prime Minister Imran Khan in Pakistan prompted Pakistani American advocacy groups to mobilize members of the US Congress to issue statements condemning human rights abuses in Pakistan. This mobilization further strained the bilateral relationship. In August 2023, a leaked diplomatic cable revealed that the US State Department had actively encouraged the removal of Prime Minister Imran Khan from office, citing his neutral stance on the Russian invasion of Ukraine as a significant factor in this regard. Amid the recent conflict between Israel and Palestine, the pronounced backing of the United States for Israel has widened the chasm between the US and Pakistan, which advocates for Palestinian self-determination. Okay, now let's see the impact of withdrawal on Pakistan. The manner in which the United States withdrew from Afghanistan was an unmitigated disaster characterized by a lack of a well-structured transfer of power and resources. US military left equipment valued at over $7.1 billion and funded by US taxpayers ended up in the hands of the Afghan government, which subsequently fell to the Taliban. The indelible scenes of anxious crowds at the airport attempting to flee the nation due to Taliban threats, desperately holding on to departing US military planes, with some tragically losing their lives in the process, persistently linger in our shared recollection. This withdrawal had profound consequences for the region, particularly in terms of the strained relations between the US and Pakistan, as well as the deteriorating relationship between Afghanistan and Pakistan. The result was a surge in suicide attacks in Pakistan, causing significant loss of life among civilians and security personnel. The vacuum created by the US withdrawal became fertile ground for the emergence of various terrorist groups, most notably the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan or TTP, which claimed responsibility for a number of attacks. The Pakistani Taliban share a common ideology with the Afghan Taliban and have assisted them in 2001 to 2021 war. but the two groups have separate operation and command structures. In response to these developments, the United States distanced itself from Afghanistan and adopted a watchful, non-engaging stance, observing the situation from a distance as Afghanistan transitioned under its new government. One of the alarming consequences of the US withdrawal was the porous and insecure Afghan-Pakistan border, which saw a significant uptick in illegal cross-border activities and movements of extremist elements. This instability added to the simmering tensions between Afghanistan and Pakistan, and efforts to restore cooperation and trust in the region have proven to be complex and challenging. So finally, let's analyze the whole trajectory. Analyzing the trajectory of U.S. Pakistan relations since 1947 and considering the impact of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, it can be asserted that the dynamics of these relations have largely centered on the United States security concerns within this South Asian region. Dating back to the aftermath of World War II, the superpower rivalry prompted both blocs to expand their influence by focusing on the Asian continent. This historical context subsequently shaped post-Cold War relations as well. The US exit from Afghanistan reduced the strategic significance of Pakistan, leading to a cooling of relations. The United States has now found a new influential partner in India, which has already been engaged in countering China, a prominent contemporary competitor for the United States.